kids notice.
Mm-hmm.
And so I've told the story so many times about Adrian when he was little, noticing like details like swords or whatever. But also kids notice, and this is kind of what I think I wrote down something about this, but if we get up on stage and we think we can cover it up, and you can kind of maybe to a certain extent, but if you get up on stage and you're like, you're distracted or you're not well prepared, the kids notice it.
Mm-hmm.
And they might not be able to articulate it and say like, oh, he's not.
Oh, you didn't know the end to that story.
Yeah.
Like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, they might not be able to know exactly what's wrong, but they know something's wrong.
Yeah.
And a lot of times what happens, what it relates to is, again, bored, which is a bad word in Sunday school. We don't want them to be bored. I think I have a podcast with Brother Aaron and Brother Joey Boggs, Brother Aaron Boggs and Brother Joey Boggs.
Good podcast, guys.
That is boring is illegal. In Sunday school, boring is illegal. So anyway, but that's one of those things is kids do notice. And I think, okay, I don't want this to be misconstrued. Like, I'm not comparing kids to dogs, but I'm just going to use this as an example. Is how they say dogs can sense like fear or they can sense different things. So a long time ago, I remember I was working with my dad. This is years ago. And he had this dog, a German Shepherd, that was always in the back of his truck. Well, this guy came by and he was like, nice doggy and stuff. He was, I think he might have been homeless or something, but he was going over to the truck. Well, she was really nice. I mean, very, very tame dog and everything. But she started barking, her hackles raised up and growling and barking at him. Like, we had never even seen that before.
No.
And somebody that was there, I don't know if they knew dogs or what, but they mentioned that she sensed something disingenuine, in him.
Yeah.
And so, and I've heard of that before, like with dogs and stuff. Okay, so this is the part where I hope I don't get blasted. I'm not comparing kids to dogs.
Cancel him.
But I think there's an element of that in kids. Kids are so open and honest, and we learn how to put on a facade, and we learn how to, these little things. And kids, sometimes I think they could see right through that. Mm-hmm. They're the ones that are like, make you start crying when they're like, are you okay? And you're like, how did they know I wasn't okay? And so I think there's an element of that. Well, you bring that to Sunday school, we have to be on it, because if we're not prepared, again, they might not be able to articulate, but they're like, okay, this is not as good as last week,
Right.
or like you said, a couple of years ago I came and it was really good, but this is not as good,
Yeah. And
All
I feel like
those
on
details.
top of that, kids also notice when you like go the extra mile.
Right.